Next thing I'm going to try to tackle is what we call scroll work. And scroll work, I'm probably using the wrong term for it. And I hope you can hear me because there's a plane flying overhead while a train is going by next door. I can't even hear myself right now. Anywho, the it's just embroidery. And I know nothing about sewing. I try to avoid handling anything that's sharp, like needles or stuff like that, because I am really clumsy. That's why I make a living off of the computer. It has no sharp parts. Um, but anyhow, it's something that in medieval times, like Lord of the Rings stuff like that. You see it a lot on the clothes to make them look really fancy. So there are several different ways we can do this. It's applied not as it doesn't fill up an entire space. It's just done in rows. So like if it was on a person's cape, it would just be on the edges of the cape. It would not cover the entire cape. Um, so yeah, what we're gonna do, we'll just do a couple of different types of embroidered. We'll just call it embroidery because I don't know if scroll works is the right term for it. First of all, if you haven't seen it, go ahead and do the fabric cloth tutorial video to get you to where I am now. Since embroidery was done primarily for the very wealthy, only the very wealthy back in the Middle Ages could afford that. I'm choosing a color scheme of and gold, purple and yellow, because A, those two colors are complementary of each other, and B, those are also the colors of royalty, and of course, the Minnesota Vikings. And you can't go wrong with the Minnesota Vikings. Anywho, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the pen tool. And the first one I'm going to do is going to be real easy. Um, since this is a pattern that's going to be repeating itself, all I have to do is do the one part of the pattern, and then I'm going to repeat it multiple times. So I'm going to go to shape. I want a shape. I want the stroke to be set to. Actually, I want the fill to be. Let's try this again. I want the stroke to be that gold color, and I want it to be just incredibly very, very wide. So try 15. I didn't mean to put that there. And all I'm going to do is just do something really simple here. And it's putting it on the wrong side. Truly, sometimes I hate Photoshop. No, really. Totally did not want that to happen. You know what? We're just going to have to go with it. And then I'm going to go to my direct select tool. And you'll see why I'm doing this here in just a second. I'm going to bring this down here, close this up, make it much more compact. Okay, well, that's really, really amazingly pointless, Tim. Thank you for wasting my time with that. But watch what happens. I'm going to duplicate that, save that, copy. Hey, what happened here? Oh, I forgot to go to my um, little selection tool as opposed to my direct selection tool. Yep, I've warned you all about it, and then I forgot about it. So make sure your entire path is selected before you can dupe a path layer. All right, so there it is. And I'm just doing that in case I want to change the look later on. Still got the original layer. I'll probably get rid of that layer eventually though. Then I'm going to go to layer. I'm going to rasterize the shape. And there it is. Now I'm going to dupe it. And I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, Vertical. And yeah, I'm going to bring those together, merge those, bring that up to here, dupe that, make sure my spacing is the same. Looks like I'm one off there. Collapse, dupe, repeat. There goes that train again. Things I wish I had thought of before I moved. Is there a train 15 feet away from my backyard? All right, good enough. And just so that I have everything, nothing outside of the boundaries of the pixel of the image itself, I'm just going to duplicate what's there. So now I don't have anything going off the sides. And there's that. That's also really boring, is it not? Doesn't look like actual cloth embroidery whatsoever. So we're going to fix that now. And I'm going to start off with, let's see here. Well, actually, I'm going to do one of my favorite things here. If it will let me, I'm going to try a pillow emboss. Oops, I forgot to combine those layers. I cannot believe I did that. Yep, still got a little bit left over there. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Cool. I need to bring this up just a little bit there. Wish I hadn't done that. Oh well. Doesn't matter now. So effects, bevel and emboss. I don't know if it's going to let me do pillow emboss. But I do hope it does, because this will be a perfect place for it. Because it's actually sewn into the fabric just like a pillow. Bring that down just a little bit. You know what? That's really not working though. Yeah, we're going to have to go with the inner bevel. And yeah, there. That actually looks like it's gold thread. Bring in the texture. Speaking of contour there, all of that. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Oh, and since it is 3D, we obviously want a drop shadow. Bring the distance up just a bit. Not so much that it looks like it's floating over the fabric behind it, but that it does have some depth to it. All right, and that should do that. I think it's a little bit too bright, but that's just because of the colors that I chose. If I really wanted to, I could bring my saturation down just a bit. Yeah, that makes it look a little bit more real. So that's how you can do a pattern, and I just was making that pattern up as I went along. And then, if this was the edge of a cloak or something like that, on the other side of the cloak, you would have the same pattern, stuff like that. I'm sure you're tired of hearing me bringing it up, but look on the backs of all the capes in World of Warcraft. They all have something like this in them, and it's this easy to do. So I'm going to go ahead and bring those two together. I'm going to turn them invisible, and I'm going to do another pattern here. That was the easy way out. That was making a pattern that just had straight lines. But now we'll do kind of a curving thing here. I'm just going to draw a line, and then halfway between that line, and I need to be very precise So I'm going to turn my ruler on here. I'll keep the, let's see here. I'll start with 100. This is a case where you might want to use your info palette. We'll start with 100. Start there. Go down to 300. I said 300. Now I'm going to add an anchor point halfway at 150. I'm sorry, that would be 250. Let's see, we started at 100, we went to 300, so a difference of 200, so that would actually be 200. Me and math, what can I say? Now, that's precisely in the middle, and that's the reason I needed that precisely in the middle is because I'm going to yank that middle one, that middle one, over to here. And I'm going to use my, if I can get it, the convert anchor point tool. I'm going to have to eyeball this. I forgot to set it up before. To kind of make this curve. And this isn't going to quite line up because I forgot to do the math, but I don't really want to embarrass myself in front of you by doing another math fail. All right. Bring that, there we go. And you're thinking, well, Tim, that's great. That's a wave. Wonderful. Again, we're going to dupe it. And we're going to transform it. And guess what I've got? And I'm going to combine it. And I'm going to move it. Oh, that was not a bad idea. That very, very bad idea. Let's go to layer, rasterize layers. Now I can do that. Put that up there. Dupe, move, combine, flatten. It's not hard. That got all of them. I missed it by 1 pixel, not bad. I'm going to bring that out. There we go. And then, of course, we can do the exact same thing as before. Actually, let me just, kind of a bonus thing here. Let me just undo all of that for just a second. I'm going to show you something even cooler, an idea that I just now got. I'm going to bring that up by itself. Oops, I meant to do the original. I'm going to show you something even cooler. And let me rasterize these layers. I forgot last time. I may be, oops. I may be falling asleep due to Benadryl, but I do learn some things eventually after repeating them. So there is one layer, and we'll just call that wave 1. Going to duplicate it. Wave 2. Going to flip it horizontal. And I'm going to do bevel and emboss. And depth, up, color and texture as well. Oop, wrong one. There we go. There's that. And want a drop shadow as well. 135. 135. Multiply, bring our opacity to 75%. Now it looks like that thread is over this thread. Now really it would actually be interweaving. We might take care of that here in just a second. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring the layer effects of wave 2 into wave 1 as well. I just held down the Option key on the Macintosh. I think that is the Alt key or the Control key on a PC. And there's that. Okay. So, got kind of a nice embroidery going on there as well. What I may do, though, is, okay, here it goes over. When it's going from left to right, it goes over, which means when it goes from right to left, it should go under. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my eraser tool. I'm just going to do this once. And I'm going to get rid of that. See, now it looks like they're crisscrossing each other. And that's very, that just makes it so much more artistic. And chances are no one but you and the people you work with will ever notice that you actually did that. And people like me that spend hours just looking at texture maps inside games because I have no life. All right. There we go. And I'm just going to bring these together and put that right there. And check this out. Very, very fancy. Very, very fancy. Now, of course, it's not really in proportion. I zoomed in for detail. But I hope you get a feel for how you can make curved and straight scroll work, embroidery, whatever it's called historically. And there you have it. So thanks for watching.